Welcome back to Big Nick's Meats and Treats. Today, I'm going to give you 5 tips for beginner Kamado users. I've had this Louisiana Grills K24 for 3 years, and I've learned a lot along the way on using a Kamado grill. I have 4 smokers total. This is my only Kamado, and I'm going to go over the tips that I've learned to help you using a Kamado grill. Tip number 1, in the bottom of your Kamado, you're going to have this metal grate, and this is for all Kamados. Take this thing, get rid of it. It's worthless, okay? Go on Amazon and get yourself one of these charcoal baskets, okay? It'll hold the charcoal, and when you're done, you just take the basket, shake it back and forth. All the ash falls down to the bottom, and the charcoal that's still good is there. If you use that metal plate, you have to pick the good charcoal out with your hands and then shake out all the bad charcoal. Horrible idea. Get yourself a basket. Tip number 1. Tip number 2, get yourself a drip pan. Okay, I bought this on Amazon. You can get these through Big Green Egg. They're disposable. If you don't have a drip pan, you're cooking greasy meats, briskets, pork butts, and things like that. All that grease has to go somewhere, and unlike a pellet grill that drains it into a bucket or a can, on a Kamado, it just goes straight down into the fire. When you got open flame and grease, that means fire. That's no bueno, okay? Get yourself a drip pan. Tip number 2. Tip number 3. Get yourself some lighter cubes. These are made by Kamado Joe. They're made just for Kamados. Or get yourself a propane torch. If you want to spend the big bucks and look fancy to the neighbors, you can get yourself a fancy grill torch. I just took a bottle of propane and put a regular old propane torch on here. Probably less than 10 bucks. Get yourself a torch. Tip number 3. Tip number 4, don't go over your target temperature. When you're preheating your charcoal, when you're about 50 or 75 degrees below where you want to be, that's when you start choking down the airflow. Okay? So you're going to choke that down when you're about 50 degrees below. These things are 2-inch thick ceramic. So if you allow this thing to preheat and to get to your target temperature, you're never going to be able to get it to come back down because it's such thick ceramic. So always choke it down. It's easier to add airflow than it is to cool this thing down. Tip number 4. Tip number 5, when it comes to setting the temperature on this, it's all about the venting here, and this works by airflow. Air gets sucked in the bottom vent, comes out the top vent. So you should think about your bottom vent as the gas pedal. The more it's open, the more air that's going to be going in there. Think about the top vent as the brake. You can control the airflow by shutting that down. When I'm doing long cooks, like with briskets or pork butts, 225, 250, I basically have the bottom vent open maybe 1/4 inch, and this is certainly under 1. If you're going to do a high sear, you're going to crank that thing all the way open and get as much airflow as possible, because these can handle up to close to 800 degrees. So the more air, the hotter it's going to get. And like I said in tip number 4, make sure you don't go past your target temp. Creep your way up to it. Don't go past it because you won't be able to come back. Tip number 5. We cooked up these beautiful homemade sausages on the Kamado. I hope these 5 tips that I gave you will help you out for your beginning Kamado users. Tell your friends about us. Give us a like and a subscribe. And until I see you next time, watch me work, baby. Watch me work.